Morning creation. So, I made a couple of videos talking about jiu-jitsu that were factually accurate, truthfully accurate, and people loved them. But I am perfectly fair and reasonable. And I'm going to talk about old man jiu-jitsu. Old man jiu-jitsu is basically what you all do because you're pussies. But I'll talk about the actual one. You know, some dude who got a belt a long time ago, used to be a killer. And then, just got old and lost their fire and lost their drive, got crippled and never rehabbed their injuries because they're retards. Because that's a fact. All you pussies with all your injuries, don't work to fix them. I know that. I fixed my own herniated discs in my neck and my L5S1, lower back, fixed the cartilage and shit in my elbows. My body is perfect now. It's actually a soul thing. But you can use physical rehab too. You guys just don't. You don't do anything. None of you do. You all don't understand the concept of self-improvement, of not having limits. I've never felt limited. I've always felt like I had unlimited potential. It turns out you can. But let's talk about the people that don't realize that. The old people in jiu-jitsu that just they wrestle from their knees because they don't want to stand up because they're worried about getting hurt again. They're afraid. They're traumatized by their injuries. And they're not fixing them. I was going to be really nice in this video, but I'm pissed off today. I'm going to go back and forth. So, old man jiu-jitsu. They prioritize their health above their skill. When they roll with you, they want to know for sure you're not going to injure them. It's the highest priority for them. They don't want to wrestle because the risk of injury is very, very high because it's chaotic and gravity's involved, and motherfuckers know gravity's very powerful. When things fall, they fucking get injured. When things land on shit, they get injured. So they like to start down, or they do really, really slow games. They stay very, very controlled. They like doing upper body lock type stuff. They don't want to bend their knees and wrestle. They don't want to hit their head on something. They don't have the limberness that they used to in their body and their knees. They can't really do proper shots and proper lunges, and those require speed and timing. And a lot of men let their brain and mind go as they get older, and they're just not as mentally sharp. Their reflexes dull because they don't take care of them. It's a valid way to live life. But I always give the true perspective. I'll be like, no, they do this because of this, but it's their goddamn fault they have to do it that way because it's a fact. You all don't rehab your shit. You all, pretend to. Instead of, working out for, 6 hours a day, rehabbing everything, you spend 20 minutes because some cunt that doesn't actually know what she's talking about is 20 minutes is enough. No, the fuck it's not. It's just not. I know more about that than all of you. Because I'm the one who actually fixed my herniated discs. You all just pretend you can, but you don't. I did it myself. Old man jiu-jitsu, they love things like double unders. They like consistency. And they like to be in control of what's going on, so they like to squeeze you and grab you. It's not better than being fast, but it is important to be powerful. Old man jiu-jitsu. You remember when you were a kid, or a little princess daughter cunt, and your dad grabbed you? Unfortunately, women don't experience this properly. Men get the power of their father when their father grabs them by the wrist and they can't get away and they know they're fucked. Women never get that really, and when they do, they cry and think they're getting abused. Because the mom says it's abuse when it's not. Fathers should discipline women and men equally. I tried to fight my dad in self-defense when I was a kid. When I was too young, one time I tried to run away from him, and I locked my door, and he said, "Open the door." And I was like, "Fuck no." And then suddenly there was no door anymore. He hit the door with his shoulder. All of the hinges came off. The door went, and then my dad stepped in the room like goddamn Zeus himself. And I was like, oh, I'm fucked. There's nowhere to run. Like, there was no escape anymore. No escape for me. But when I was 16, that asshole cunt fuck that I used to call my dad, Gary, he tried to fight me. And I was already very good at grappling at 16. And I put him in a triangle choke. And he picked me up and started slamming me on the tile. Boom, boom, boom. And then, like, eventually we just kind of stopped. And he looked at me and he said, if you ever try to fight me like that again, I'll kill you. Because he knew he could never fight me unless he fought me to kill me. There's people you just can't play with. You know, I'm one of those people you can't play. If you want to beat me, you have to try to kill me. Otherwise, it'll never work. But that was like a fun day. I learned a lesson. You know, I learned a lesson about gravity. I learned a lesson about, like, fighting your dad and shit like that. You know, I learned a lesson that day. And so did he. He learned not to fuck around with me. Respect. Could have developed, but he's a fucking cunt. But my videos would just ramble all the fuck I want. You remember how I used to do 40-minute car van videos and shit? They have a topic, but they meander. And then I bring them back. Okay? Old man jiu-jitsu. So I just woke up. I literally just woke up. I woke up pissed off because the first thing I did was check my messages. And you're all doing way better, but still cunts. I'm thinking. Mans and men and sirs and gentlemen and shit, they have careers usually in jobs that they really care about. Especially if they're doing jiu-jitsu. To do jiu-jitsu means you have to be trying to self-improve. You know, I mean, it's a voluntary martial art. It's a voluntary sport. So if you're in that room, you're already better than most people, period. Just by being in that room at all. Seriously. It makes you better than people. Because you're trying to improve. You're trying to learn. You're trying to develop a skill. Look at the fucking retard fucks that you know that don't do anything. They're not doing that at all. But, again, old man jiu-jitsu, they value their health. Because they have careers. But they also need that money to take care of their families. If a fucking old man with a career gets his arm broken and he does any kind of physical manual labor, he can't work anymore. So they have to prioritize their health and safety. So when you roll with an old man in jiu-jitsu, that doesn't mean like 60. That could mean fucking 35, 40. It's how they identify. Roll the way they want you to roll. It's not the same as me saying roll to win, roll to learn, roll to kill. Roll to not injure. When you roll with them, make that your number one priority. Don't hurt the old men in jiu-jitsu. And they can tell. There's people that the old man just will not roll with. And I've actually never been one of them. The old people in jiu-jitsu love rolling with me because I will beat the shit out of them and they will never get hurt. Because when you're rolling with me, motherfuckers, I'm God compared to you. I'm in control of the match. And if I don't want you to get hurt, you're not going to get hurt because I'm that goddamn good. But they know that. To have control over yourself in the match, you have to be that good. That's how it works. But when they see someone like Jacob Borneman, he's a fucking animal. He's wild. They would never roll with him ever because he will hurt them. So they avoid people like him. They don't want to roll with the scrappy spastic dudes. They want to roll with people they know won't hurt them. And they want to try to win. People forget. Just because they're prioritizing their health and safety doesn't mean they don't have pride. They want you to try to win still. Don't baby and coddle them. Beat their ass, but do it in a way where they know they are safe. And that means less speed, but more power. When you grab an old man back, squeeze them. Because that's what they're going to try to do to you. You've all felt it. Listen, Rodrigo Vaghi is a piece of shit. He's a cunt, fuck, loser, slut, whore. Because he allows Heath Pedigo to be in that association. And I told Rodrigo, I told Mike Rogers, I told all those people for years and years and years how bad that gym was and how piece of shit they all are. And they didn't back me or support me in any way when I came out and talked about it. So they're going to burn in hell. But Rodrigo has taught me jiu-jitsu, like real, true jiu-jitsu. I learned shit early in my career from Rodrigo that made things click and cement and become certainties forever. They changed how I approached the game entirely. They called him Rodrigo the Vice. He tapped someone at the Black Belt Worlds by neon bellying them. I got told a story where he sat down and there was a rope like 20 foot up in the fucking this big ass room. And just with his fingertips, he put his legs straight out. He climbed up the rope and all the way back down. His grip is a vice. When a vice clamps, you're not unclamping it. People like him, I don't respect that loser at all. But like that part of him, I do. I learned a lot from the original legends of the sport. I learned more from Marcelo Garcia just watching him roll than anyone. I told you all back in the day, when I first moved down into that gym, before it became a cult, it was amazing. It was this little tiny fucked up gym underneath a theater. It was fucking dangerous to roll in that room. It was so fucked up. There was a garage door that opened up. It was it was summer. Okay, I moved down in like April because my college semester just ended, and I just packed up my shit, told everyone in Michigan, hey, I'm moving to Illinois to be a professional jiu-jitsu guy or MMA fighter is what I wanted to be. And then I got down there, and it was the best time of my life. I didn't have a phone at all. All I had was Jean D. Ribeiro's University of Jiu-Jitsu book. And I read that thing cover to cover over and over again. I had Eddie Bravo's Rubber Guard DVD. He taught me how to do an omoplata. I thought Eddie Bravo invented the omoplata for a long time because I didn't know. I didn't do jiu-jitsu before. I just grappled. And then I had Marcelo Garcia's original X-Guard book. And everything I learned from those books, they became the foundation of my jiu-jitsu. And then when I was a blue belt, I started watching Marcelo Garcia videos religiously. But I watched it to learn. I learned how he moved and how he thought, his timing. That motherfucker, I wish that he could become his physical prime self again. He would still kill you all. He is the best that there's ever been at grappling and jiu-jitsu other than me. That's just a fact. You know what I mean? Like, when you stand on the shoulder of titans and giants and shit, you become better than them. That's the point. They lift you up. I learned from him and was able to become better because he did it first and he was a role model and an example for me. And I mean that. You know, my beacon of positivity in jiu-jitsu, the smile every time, the wizard, that came from Marcelo. And when I rolled like he did at blue belt, dude, I tapped people in 10 seconds. I could do anything I wanted to them. That's when I went through my guillotine phase. Because Marcelo Garcia used to just guillotine people whenever the fuck he wanted. David Garmo and them are good at guillotines. Pedro Moreno is good at guillotines. Marcelo Garcia is a guillotine. He'll just cut your head off whenever he wants. And then I stopped doing guillotines completely. Literally, I threw them out of my game because I got bored. I tapped someone like 30 times in 5 minutes just with guillotines. And I was like, this is fucking boring. I literally got bored and stopped using them forever. But like, he rolls with old man jiu-jitsu, but with the speed and timing of a fucking cobra. It's still old man jiu-jitsu, though. He doesn't go spastic ever. He's controlled and deliberate. And that's why everyone always feels safe rolling with me, and everyone always feels safe rolling with Marcelo Garcia, and people like them that are deliberate and controlled, as in they don't do it unless they're doing exactly what they intend to do. I've been thinking about jiu-jitsu stuff a lot lately, because I'm trying to make money. And people have been calling me, giving jiu-jitsu advice. I've been making money. Finally, I'm still homeless, still broke, still have no one in my life. But it's getting better, hopefully. So, old man jiu-jitsu. Should they have their belts when they can't roll anymore, like I said the other day? No. When they reach the point where, why don't you just put a fucking line down the whole belt, you retards? Like, let them keep their red belt, but I never take that one, like, ever. That's a different thing. I didn't mean to say that. The red belt doesn't apply. That thing is legend status. But a black belt, if you can't roll and win in a dominant fashion anymore, you should have to put on a belt that's got a fucking white line or something down the middle of the entire belt. Still a black belt, but you're not a black belt. And it would be a thing when you know you're ready to kill again, you put the other one back on. The thing about, like, this is the injured belt. This is the belt saying, I'm not at my prime. I'm not what I was. Right now, I'm recovering, or I'm okay with what I am, but I know I'm just not that anymore. You know, Masters Division stuff. Is the difference between competing at Masters 1 and 2 and 3 or going into the adult division. The adult division are the true black belts. The people that compete in the adult division. When you start competing Masters only, you got to put that fucking weirdo striped belt on. Makes sense? Figuring out the specifics of shit like that is not complicated at all. You always start conceptually, that you come up with the idea, and then you iron out the details. But some ideas are so simple, you don't need to. Those instructor stripes don't mean anything when someone comes in the door. Like I told you, they don't know what that means. It's just not the same. You have to be clear and distinct in your communication. The belt is you communicating to people, I can kill you with my hands. I always loved the pink belt. Mike Rogers and SEMMA, even though they're horrible cunt rap bastard fucks, because I really went to Mike Rogers a lot. A lot. That motherfucker knows everything about Daisy Fresh and Heath. That's why I hate him. I hate Mike Rogers. The rest of you I loathe in a certain way, but him I truly hate. Because he called me one day when I was literally crying about how I was getting blackmailed by Heath and the jiu-jitsu community was turning on me, and no one saw me the same anymore, even though I hadn't even changed at all. They were just feeding into lies and echo chambering and shit. And he listened to me cry for 20, 30 minutes and then did nothing. And then a week later, 2 weeks later, my house got burned down like I told him I was under threat of, and he did nothing. That's why I hate him. He's a coward. Told you, meander. But I've given you a good goddamn idea and impression of what old man jiu-jitsu is, right? You're not at your prime anymore. Don't pretend. Get it back or accept it. Either way, put the other belt on. Well, I'm still in Tulsa. I might have someone coming to pick me up to take me to Louisiana. Louisiana is fun. I've been there. Florida had a lot. When I was in Florida, one time, I fucked Michelle Manzione, Clay's ex-girlfriend. I say it like that because Clay's a piece of shit. He was my fucking friend. He knew everything about Daisy Fresh because I stayed at his gym for so long, and me and Michelle and Bird told him everything. He knew everything. And he chose them over me. He chose them over being righteous or good. That's why I don't, respect him at all. He was a real friend to me, though. It's not my fault Michelle came on to me, dude. Because she did aggressively. You know how goddamn cute she is. You couldn't say no either, fucker. She's like, how could you? Fellas, how could you? Fuckers, I'm not weak. I'm susceptible. You know what I mean? But the people I hate the most are the people that I went to, the entire jiu-jitsu career of mine, and I told them what was going on when it happened. When it happened. So they know. That shit with me talking about Daisy Fresh didn't come out of nowhere. I talked about it for 10 goddamn years with people, and they didn't talk and back me up at all. I showed them proof at the time. They know. I think when I think of Michelle, the Tupac song plays in my head. That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. But it wasn't like that. Literally, she seduced me. Just come on. But yeah, when I was in Florida's been real kind to me. I fucked this girl on Tinder, and she took me around the zoo, and there were alligators and shit. And then it turned out she worked for NASA. I thought that was awesome. I had the super awesome one night stand in Florida. So Florida's great, but Louisiana's fucking awesome too. The people there party, Mardi Gras style. You can drink alcohol in the streets. They're happy. I like happy people. I like happy states and shit. So hopefully I can find some jiu-jitsu gyms down there that aren't affiliated with cults. I've already had a couple of jiu-jitsu gyms tell me, we don't feel comfortable having you in because Daisy Fresh has gotten a hold of people and tried to blacklist me and shit, which is not possible. I'm the best jiu-jitsu athlete to ever exist, basically. And my mind with jiu-jitsu is far beyond everyone else's. You've heard me talk about it. There's a reason I could break down footage the way that I used to. It doesn't matter. I'll either get into a gym and train, make videos and content, make money, do seminars, or I'll just start my own. It's happening. But yeah. Is there anything else to say about old man jiu-jitsu? Respect them. But respect means a lot of different things. But it means be honest still. Don't lie to them and tell them they're in their prime. Don't let them put you in side control when they didn't earn it and deserve it. You give them a false ego, a false sense of skill, and it rolls back to how I used to tell you all, when you spar, try to win, because if you're not trying to win, you can't honestly assess your game and your techniques and all that, so you don't actually learn. You have to try to win, even with old men, but constrain yourself to their style, old man jiu-jitsu, when you're doing it. And if you roll with me, you better be trying to kill me, because I know when you're not, and I literally mentally check out. I get so goddamn bored when people aren't trying to really kill me. In jiu-jitsu, it's just boring. I actually did just reach out to Clay. That's why that kind of came to mind. Haven't tried to do that since he betrayed me. Because I reached out to Clay when all that was going on, and he said something along the lines like, you know what you did. And it's like, yeah, nothing wrong. He only joined PSF because of me. He told me that tons of times. Pretty much everyone there joined because of me. Because he told me. So, we'll see what he has to say. I have no expectations of ever getting an old friend back, ever. I would just make new ones. And when I said the stuff before about Clay being a rapist, it is, I hope not true anymore, but it was true. Michelle Manzione used to cry to Michelle, my girlfriend at the time, and me and Satya, and tell us what he did. He had emotional fucking problems. He's a basket case. He's a psycho. But he has a good heart. That's why I stayed his friend. I used to mentor him. And when she didn't want to have sex with him, he would get mad. He would scream at her and shit. And grab her. And if he didn't grab her, she, I only have the information I got told, but I know that bitch wasn't lying. And she told me she wants nothing to do with me because I talk about this stuff. Because I tell the truth. And if you don't like me, don't tell me secrets. I don't want to keep your fucking secrets. Don't tell me them. I'll find them out anyways because I'm perceptive. But don't tell me stuff that you're, never want talked about. Because if I want to talk about something, I just will goddamn talk about it. But yeah, coercion legally is a type of rape. If someone says no and you coerce them into it, it's a legal type of rape. And then I had Austin Arende message me after that. He's like, oh, how dare you talk about Clay like that? You don't know what kind of a good person he is. It's like, I know that motherfucker very well. I know exactly what he did, and it's a fact. That's why I'm talking about it. That's why I talked about it. I don't lie about this shit, ever. So then I just wrote Austin off forever. I used to love that dude. Now, if I see him, and there's no cameras, and I can get away with it, something physical might happen. Don't talk to me a certain way, motherfuckers. I'm something you guys didn't realize. I will just fucking deal with problems. It doesn't make me unhinged. That's just reality. People get... Bad things happen to people that deserve it. That just is how it is. Ask the Brazilians. They will fuck you up if you talk shit to them. For most of my jiu-jitsu career, I didn't like the Brazilians because they were arrogant and prideful. They treated women like shit and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. But the original pride culture of Brazil, I goddamn jive with. Like I said, I'm very in touch with the spirit and soul of jiu-jitsu and martial arts and shit. It's the warrior spirit. Don't forget, 2 years ago, I told you, I became a thing for God. And I learned a lot. And I can just do things now. Like that. Like really get in touch with things like the spirit of jiu-jitsu. I channel it, literally. But then I have my own opinions. I want to run my own gym both ways. You know, I always wanted to run a gym as like a competition gym, but a gym for everybody, but a place of science. Experimentation done right, incentive systems done right, stuff like that. Killers are killers in there, and I make them able to kill. People that just want to learn and fuck around and have fun. Safe, fun place for them. Old men, women, gangsters, criminals, rapists. I don't give a fuck. If you're at my goddamn gym, I don't give a fuck. I will protect my people. That is how jiu-jitsu is supposed to be. I always loved that the cops could roll with the felons and not give a fuck. I don't like when people used to message me, when people told me shit like this a lot. I'm gay, and I get bullied at my gym. I'm trans, and they bully me. Shit like that is when I ask for your goddamn home address, really intending some things. And then I just usually end up not. But I don't fuck around. I just don't. Treat people fairly. Treat people fairly. It doesn't mean with kindness. You can be a kind person and not treat everyone kindly because not everyone deserves kindness. Yeah, there was this girl, and she was a man who identified as a woman, so I'm saying girl. He used to message me, and it was in my Discord channel and shit, and she was telling me all kinds of stuff about gyms in like Texas, related to really high-level people, and how they got kicked out for being trans. And people always tried to hurt them for being trans. If you did that at my gym, well, I would know where your home address is because waivers. But the reality of it is, I might roll with you and break your goddamn arm on accident and kick you out after the fact. Actions have consequences. They have to. If they don't, people don't learn. And it's not always the person getting fucked up that needs to learn. It's the people that know that person got fucked up on behalf of the cause. That's what it means to be a role model. I'm way more mature than all of you. Clearly you can see. Look at my mannerisms. Look at how I talk. Look at the things I think about and talk about that your little fucking retard brains have never even considered the topic. Yeah, this is like a car game video at this point. It's 30 minutes. Who gives a fuck? I cannot wait to get my hands physically on some people in competition because I don't have to give you time to tap. And the match doesn't stop until the referee gets me off of you. Have fun, because I will.